Hey everybody, Jake here for American Trucks, and in this video we're taking a look at the TRX style Ram bar in black, fitting 2019 and newer Ram 1500s without the Ram box option. If you're after a bit of that TRX or Baja inspired style with your build, this is a great way to get it. This is an exact replica of the Ram bar setup you'd find on a TRX right off the showroom floor, and it gives your truck some extra attitude. So it's an easy way to help set your Ram apart from the rest of the pack, but it still keeps true to that Ram style. Now this is essentially Ram's version of the iconic roll bars that you'd find on, say, an old Baja truck, and it brings a bit of that style to the street. And if you've been missing out on the TRX's off-roady goodness, but you don't necessarily want to pay the price to get one of those trucks, this is a neat little way to get a bit of that flavor on your own. And it comes finished in this nice shade of matte black with the big Ram bar logo on either side. Now you can see that this is disassembled on the table so y'all can get a better look at it in its pieces. There's really not a whole heck of a lot to it. It's going to feature a double bar design, so these two bars are going to go up here and mount these two pieces together. And you get some nice visual interest here as well. You've got these nice slats on the side, and these have a bit of a curve to them too. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. These bars have a little bit of a curve, so when you've got it mounted up, it's going to follow the contour of your roof. So it's a bit more visually interesting than some other sport bars or roll bars you'll find on the aftermarket. There's also some grab handles integrated back here as well, and it's just going to fit really nicely with the Ram styling. Now there are provisions for additional lighting on the top too, so if you really wanted to lean into that old school Baja theme, grab some round fog lights, maybe some KC highlighters, and put them up there. Now at least that would be my plan. You all do what you want. Now this is also just going to clamp right on. There's no drilling or other modifications required. You are going to have to, of course, put this together, but it's really just a handful of bolts and some sleeves here to put that together, and we'll walk you through that very shortly. The bar is made from tubular stainless steel, and everything is finished with this nice textured black powder coat to help prevent against rust and corrosion. It includes all the hardware and mounting brackets you need to get it fitted, and everything looks and fits just like the OEM version. Pricing comes in around $2,500 for this product, and that does put it toward the top of the range when it comes to roll bars and chase racks. It is a little bit spendy, I will admit, but it's going to give you that OEM Plus type of style, and it really does look the part too. And then you get some extra flexibility with this as well. Really, the highlight is the look here, and if you're into this, you want to keep things mostly OEM, this is going to be your ticket. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour, maybe a bit less if you're really quick with a wrench. But everything is just gonna bolt right together, and then you can mount this up on your truck without the need to drill any holes or make any permanent modifications. I do recommend having a friend with you to get this put into place, but if you have a little more dexterity or maybe a little more height on your side than I do, you might be able to get this fitted yourself. Either way, it's gonna be pretty simple. And with that, let's head on out to the shop, and we're gonna walk you through the install process.
Tools required for this install include a drill, a ratchet, a box knife, a marker or a center punch, a 5/16 inch drill bit, a 7/8 inch drill bit, and a 12mm socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a Ram bar on our Ram, so let's get started. So the first thing I've done is lay out all the pieces here. We're gonna take our little boots and slide them over the two sides on each of the sides of the Ram bar. Now there's a straight side and a side with a lip on it. The lip is going to go towards the outside. So we're going to slide that over here, and then we can start installing our bars and our little reinforcement plates. I'm just going to kind of twist it on to get it started. And then just do that same thing on the other one. Next, we're going to take these plates. There's going to be 2 in each of the holes here. One's going to go on the bottom, one on top. You're going to line up the 2 holes with the 2 holes up here. And this is going to sit in between the actual metal and that rubber boot. Get that slid in, line it up with the hole, and then do the same thing up top. And then do that same thing for your other 3. Next, we can start mounting up our bars. Now, one of these bars is going to have some holes drilled into it. That's going to be towards the front of the bed. So I'm going to slide this in. We have threaded holes in here. So just line those up with the holes. start threading your bolts. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom here. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other one. We're going to get both of them installed on one side first, and then we'll slide the other end piece onto both of them. You might have to rotate this bar around a little bit to get that hole to line up. So now we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So line these up, slide them into place, and then get your bolt holes to line up and start threading in your bolts. So now you can grab yourself a buddy to help you lift this up into the bed. We're going to line it up and then mark the holes that we need to drill. So now with our ram bar in place, we're going to have to use a marker or a center punch to mark the holes that we need to drill. Now there's one hole on the side that we're not going to drill yet. We're going to mark the 3 top ones first. We're going to have to make a cut through the plastic and then drill a smaller hole through the metal. So this is going to sit a little bit lower after that. Once we have that all set up, then you can mark that side hole and drill that out because it'll be in its final position. So you're going to push this all the way back against the bulkhead and then just rotate it to get it to sit flat, and then take your marker or your center punch, stick it down in that hole to mark your hole. Do that on both sides, and then we can grab our drill bit. So now once you have the marks for your holes made, you can go ahead and grab your drill and grab a utility knife or box knife. You're gonna have to cut out this little rectangle here. Really easy with just a box knife. Just follow that line that's already in there all the way around, pop that out. There's gonna be a bracket that we'll install on the bottom of the ram bar that's gonna slide down through here, and then we'll have a bolt go through this hole down here. Now for the 3 holes that you made for your bolts on the top, you're first gonna take a 7/8 or a 22 millimeter drill bit. You're gonna drill just through the plastic cap here. Once you get down to the metal, you're gonna stop. So just keep very light pressure on this. Once you have that drilled out, you're gonna go to the center point again, and you're gonna switch to a 5/16 inch drill bit. This is gonna be the hole that the bolt actually goes through. The bigger hole is just gonna be for that little standoff on the bottom of the ram bar so that it can sit a little bit lower. So for demonstration purposes, we're not going to be drilling into our bed. We're just going to be laying it on top. But once you get done with this side, just do the same thing on the other side. So now we have our ram bar on the ground, and these are those little standoffs I was talking about that is going to go in that 22 millimeter hole that you drill through the plastic, and then 5/16 is going to be for the bolt that comes through there. Now the last thing we'll need to install is this little bracket that's going to go all the way on the bottom here. This little nut is going to hook up under here, and then we're going to thread our bolt in through the smaller hole. So just kind of angle it in there, and then you can line up your bolt with that nut. Now these brackets are stamped to L and R, the L being for the left or the driver's side, and the R being for the right or the passenger. Now once you have that bolt threaded in, just take a 12 millimeter ratcheting wrench and just snug that up. Like I said, we didn't cut out that rectangular hole on our bed rail since we're just doing this for demonstration purposes. So I'm gonna be removing this bracket just so that this sits flat. So now you can grab yourself a buddy. We're gonna lift this back up onto the bed. We're gonna stick those brackets that you installed, but we didn't, through the rectangular holes that you cut out and we didn't. So just line up that bracket with the hole before you drop it down, and then you can lay it into place. Now once you have your bar lifted into place, you want to make sure that those little circle standoffs are sitting in the hole in the plastic bed cap that you drilled. And then once those are in place, that's when you can come over here and drill your side hole. So once again, grab your marker or your center punch, punch that hole. At this point, you can just slide this towards the back of the bed, just drill that hole out, do the same thing on the other side, and then slide it back. Once again, we're not going to be drilling into our beds. We're going to skip this step, but you're just going to grab a 5/16 inch drill bit to get that job done. So now all we have left to do is bolt this down to the bed and then tighten those bolts on the bars that we loosely installed earlier. So I'm going to start at the front of the bed, work my way back. In this hole right here, that's where that bracket's going to sit. It's got threaded holes in it. So you're going to take one of your bolts with this big washer, put it through that hole and thread it into that bracket. Now up top on these 3 holes, once again, you're just going to take your bolt, drop that through. And then we have these nuts. Now the smaller one is going to be for the holes going through the top. This is going to sit underneath and the bolt's going to thread into that. The longer one is going to be for the side bolt here. So this is going to sit right back here against the lip of the bed rail. And then put your bolt through there. Get all of them started before you start tightening anything down. Do that on both sides. And then take a 12mm socket or a 12mm wrench, ratcheting wrench, to tighten all of these down. So now hop in the bed and we're going to tighten down our 8 bolts per side. Take a 12mm socket. I'm going to get one side fully tightened down first before I do the other side. In case I need to spread it apart or push it in a little bit, I'll have that adjustment ability on the other side. And I'll do that same thing on this side.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of this TRX style Ram bar in black, fitting 2019 and newer Ram 1500s without the Ram box option. Thank you all for watching, and as always, for all things Ram, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.